woman to lead an African nation, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and yet some might say you've been more popular abroad than you have been at home. What do you say to that?
Well, you know, I think if one really went around the country, where I spent a lot of time going into rural areas, being able to work with farmers and rural women and traders, and you know, I found that I was very well connected with them. But also, if in the city, some of the positions I took were maybe not popular, then that's fine. But I also know that I had to be out there in the global community, being able to mobilize the support for Liberia, being able to restore Liberia's creditworthiness, being able to make sure that the partnership that we needed, was put in place to enable us to achieve our development goals. I'm very happy with what I was able to do.
When you became president in 2005, you pledged a war on corruption. You called it, quote, a national cancer and, quote, public enemy number one. But then you yourself were hit with a variety of scandals, your government, and you later said you, quote, underestimated the cultural roots of corruption. But surely Liberian culture isn't to blame for corruption. Liberian politicians, such as yourself and others, are to blame for corruption.
Well, let me tell you, politicians are part of the culture. Politicians are part of the value system.
But it sounds like you're blaming the public, the country, for the actions of politicians.
I'm not blaming anybody. No. I think you're just talking without listening. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying dependency, dishonesty came out of the Liberian culture over the many years of deprivation. The institutions to fight corruption were not there.
You mentioned the institutions, and yet you did have an independent corruption watchdog, the General Auditing Commission, which found 20 government ministers, accused 20 government ministers of corruption, and you failed to prosecute any of them. Why?
Well, let me tell you something. All of those reports were sent to our Liberia Anti-Corruption Agency. They were also sent to our legislature. We organized a particular unit in the presidency to be able to look at all of those cases and to be able to send them forward to the Ministry of Justice wherever they thought prosecution was necessary.
So why weren't they prosecuted?
Well, because our system is like that. If you want to really understand Liberia, you need to dig a little bit deeper. You need to understand our culture, our values, our systems, and way to tackle it is not always to just make a whole lot of noise about it, but to quietly build those institutions that are going to be beyond that.
What is it about your country's institutions and values and culture that led you to appoint 3 of your sons and your sister to top government positions? Something that led to your fellow Liberian Nobel Peace Laureate, Lema Bowie, to resign from her post as head of Liberia's Peace and Reconciliation Commission. Does she not understand Liberian culture or institutions?
No. Well, let's put it this way. First of all, when I took office, if you're talking about one of my sons was always in place a couple of administrations before I took place, and I didn't fire him. Yes, I didn't think it was necessary to do so. If you're talking about the others where I needed a specialized skill to be able to achieve our objective of trying to mobilize the resources to tackle our major development programs, that's what I did. And frankly, will you please look around today at some other countries that have found themselves perhaps in similar position and have been able to put in place those particular
which countries
close to them,
which countries are those?
Trust. I'll leave that to you to do your research.
Well, I've done my research. The British Prime Minister hasn't appointed any family members. The Canadian Prime Minister hasn't appointed any family members.
Right now, the Liberia future is being written by the leaders people today. The Andy Bobadella Foundation is leading that charge, transforming dreams into realities that will unlocking doors for the next generation. Every day foundation, we are dedicated to empowering youth and enhancing educational opportunities through financial aid, community initiatives, and innovative programs. We strive to foster personal growth and global engagement by providing resources such as scholarships, training, and platform for young voices. The ABJ Foundation, our commitment to building a brighter future for our community drives us to collaborate with international partners and expand our reach, ensuring that every child has an opportunity to succeed.
We envision a world where every young person has access to quality education, meaningful career development, and the resources necessary to thrive. Through our initiatives, we aim to create a vibrant community of empowered youth who contribute positively to national development. By fostering collaboration and innovation, we seek to break down barriers, amplify voices, and cultivate a culture of excellence and opportunity for all. We provide strategic coaching, leadership development, and mentorship programs. We equip youth with the skills, confidence, and guidance needed to become productive citizens and future leaders of Liberia.
Our valedictorian mentorship program provides continuous support and guidance to high achieving students to Sarah High School across Mosurada Electoral District number 13. ABJ Foundation. We connect valedictorians to mentors who help them navigate academics, professional, and personal development challenges while preparing them for greater opportunities in higher education and leadership.
We believe that investing in young people today is an investment in a stronger and prosperous Liberia tomorrow. We work with children between the ages of 5 to 13 in our 3-month Kid Literacy Reading Program. We enhance their reading, writing, and comprehension skills while building their confidence in communication and public speaking. We nurture excellence, promote educational achievement, and encourage civic responsibility. We help shape the generation of informed, ethical, and community-minded leaders.
ABJ Foundation, we are dedicated to collaborating with all stakeholders to inspire employment, youth participation, and leadership, as these are pillars of democratic governance and sustainable development. ABJ Foundation is your path to professional success, where together we bring innovation to leadership. Foal Street Farm is proudly sponsored by Andy Bogajala Foundation, empowering young minds, building future leaders, and transforming communities through mentorship, education, and opportunity. Andy Bogajala Foundation, transforming dreams into realities, unlocking doors for the next generation.
So what a great way to be here this Tuesday evening, August 18, 2026, bringing you a brand new edition of the program Focus Straight Talk on Focal Radio 105.3. You can also follow us on www.focalfm.com. My name is Emmanuel Gaswa. I am your regular presenter of this show, and the show is proudly sponsored by the Andy Jala Foundation. And we are located right here in the Battery community, precisely on the Silent Street in Mosurada County Electoral District number 13. I'm always here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm off. Thursday and Friday, I will be back here. So I will be off tomorrow. This program comes your way from 10 o'clock p.m. to 12 o'clock midnight. And that is what we do. This program, it is a program that we do not provide comfort for political propaganda and political shenanigans. This is a platform where we do not mince our words. We call spade spade. We don't have enemy. We don't have friend. We don't have foe. Our primary interest is Liberia. We believe in the ideology of radical progressivism. Radical progressivism is where we put the interest of our common denominator, Mama Liberia, beyond or above self-interest. So, hope you are there, don't tune. You cannot afford to miss this edition of Focus Straight Talk. because it promises to be informative, educative, and most importantly, it promises to be a firing edition on this Tuesday, August 18, in the year 2026. So we have for housekeeping. We got something for housekeeping, and on our housekeeping menu, we have the situation involving invitation extended by Pulu County Senator Amara Mohammed Kone. The police is inviting him, and according to the police, I haven't seen in the official communication inviting him, but you know, he is a social media and I can say freak, yes, because social media is becoming a platform where, you know, people can quickly air their view, air their opinion, and it can reach wide range of, you know, social media audience. So he just posted this evening around about 5, 6, going to, yeah, around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, that the police has invited him basically to answer to a social media post, a commentary linking quote unquote senior government official to the ongoing investigation that has to do with the $370 million United States drugs box there in Tuazon in Maghini County. And according to him, he has already instructed his lawyer to respond to police, and I think he is a law-abiding citizen. I think he will make himself available to the police. But I thought to point out this hypocrisy in the action of the Liberia National Police. Mind you, the police is calling Amara Conan to answer to allegations he making on his social media page, his official page, linking the government, senior government official to what he termed as what the police term as he's linking senior government official to the drugs bust. And according to what we gather is that the police is saying the man comment is with all facts, and he should go and present evidence and assist the police with evidence so the police can go forward with the investigation. But as I was saying, I sense hypocrisy. So now the first thing you need to understand is we need to know the origin. There is an origin of this police action. Before even the ordinary citizens started to point fingers at, you know, government officials who might likely be involved in the whole drug situation, it came from even the Drugs Enforcement Agency, Anthony Swah, the dismissed LDA Director General. And he did not say it in secret. He did not say it in his living room. Now, he said it on the government official information dissemination platform. That is the Ministry of Information regular press briefing. Anthony Swah said that on the platform that there are senior government officials across the 3 branches of government that are quote unquote engaged or involved with the drugs trafficking. He said that. And just on 48 hours, he was dismissed for, according to the executive marshal, for administrative reason. And since Anthony Swah made that statement, he hasn't been called by the police to provide evidence, because he was very clear that people in the judiciary, senior actors in the legislature, and that of the executive branches of government are involved in the whole drugs trafficking. So you did not call Anthony Swah, who at that time was the head of the agency that is tasked with the responsibility to fight drugs. You did not call Swah. Fast forward, even the police inspector general, Colonel Gregory Cuomo, who is now inviting Senator Amara Conan to answer. Right on the same Ministry of Information platform, he made the same statement. Make no mistake, and let me tell you, he was very blunt, categorically clear, very explicit, and said that a senior government official involved in this whole drug situation. Gregory did not provide evidence. He did not call name. He said it. It was in that same press conference that he accused the Liberian media of what? Collaborating with the drugs cartel. He accused the media of what? Taking money from the drugs cartel to sway the narrative or to insert a different narrative in the ongoing investigation to undermine the credibility of the investigation. Gregory said that he indicted the Liberian media. And before he even indicted the Liberian media, he indicted government officials. He said it. And as investigators, as journalists, as people who have the ears of top-level people, he made that statement because there were pressure from civil society, political actors, for him to recuse himself, most especially when Bola Dean, the senior ranking officer in the Liberia National Police, who Gregory himself brought back in the police, who was dismissed from the police for aiding and abetting armed robbery. Honor Mana Ellie Johnson Salif, last term, he was disrobed from the police for aiding and abetting armed robbery. Johnny Bola Dean. When the former government took over, according to what we got, Patrick Suru told him said to him he should keep a distance away from the police. When Gregory took over, Gregory brought Johnny Bola Dean back to the police. And Bola Dean was caught receiving $10,000, quote unquote, to provide comfort. So, and in the midst of all those things, and then the chief of highway patrol, Wendell Kwabo, getting engaged of escorting the drugs from the Rossville, wheresoever a sounding point to the drug zone. There were pressure mounting for Gregory recovery and assassination. So according to what we got from the grapevine is that there were attempts, people in the surrounding of the president, close to the president, was telling the president, yes, you can't have this man as police inspector general. He has people that honor his supervision, honor his jurisdiction, involved directly with the drug situation. So he cannot be sitting there. Then he recused himself. And what we got, that is what prompted Gregory's statement, because we got information and he's aware that quote unquote senior government officials for your own mouth, for your own testimony, are involved in the whole drugs situation. So what he did at the Ministry of Information press conference when he said clearly, don't be fooled, don't make any mistake. There are senior government officials involved with the drug trafficking. He was saying a caveat that any attempt to force me to resign or to recuse myself from the investigation, I will spill the beans. But Gregory made the same statement. He made the same statement. So how is it damaging that when Amara Conan says, oh, that the government is not holistic, they are not transparent, they are cherry picking in the prosecution and investigation and prosecution of the drugs because they are covering big names, and then you call in the man to answer and provide evidence. When you accuse the media, or when you yourself accuse the government official of involvement in the drugs trafficking. So how can you be the same person who mounted the Ministry of Information platform and said senior government official involved with the drugs trafficking network without you providing evidence? You also accuse the media, the Liberian media, of being in cahoot with the drugs cartel, taking money from the drugs cartel to what? To insert a different narrative in the drugs investigation. You did not provide evidence. You did not provide any. The greater responsibility is upon you as an investigator to have provided evidence, but you did not do it. You made what I want to refer to as a reckless statement. You indicted the Liberian media. You even indicted senior government officials. of that involvement, and then you want to come to, you know, say you're inviting Amara Kone. That is uncalled for. That is total hypocrisy. And just before I leave that topic, because it's not part of my main topic, Gregor needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. He's not the first Inspector General of Police. He will not be the last. He has a rep, even if he does not care about his own reputation as a human being, as Gregory O.W. Coleman, he should care for the reputation, the prestige, the sanity of the office that he occupies. The office of what? Inspector General of the Liberia National Police. He's not running a boss court. He's not running a private security firm that he can do anything because he feels he's politically protected. He got people that are protecting him. So even if he doesn't even care about his own integrity, he doesn't care about his reputation, he should be concerned about what? The sanity of the office he's occupying. That is a public office. That is an office that should be above approach. So we need to call Gregory to order. And you see now, it is appearing that the whole drugs investigation is going slow. These people will say there, they will be hiding things, they will not come forth. There will be no transparency in the investigation. And immediately Martin Colley comes out and say, oh, I investigated, I said it, and you see they will start moving. The Martin Colley just posted hours ago. The police acting slow. In almost a week, the police is now updating the public. I got new information. So you will not get information. You will not take steps until somebody who say he investigating in his private capacity. I don't even know what capacity he has to investigate. That he for 1 month, Martin Colley said he was on a sabbatical while people were still investigating. So the security, the joint security, the special investigative team from the Justice Ministry, they could not uncover that the pickup Fazari Biago was riding in was gifted to him by what? One of the prime suspects, Leroy Harris. All along they were investigating more than one month plus. They were all around investigating. They tell them all they did not have intelligence, they did not have info that the pickup Biago was riding all around his comfort was a gift for the cartel. Martin got to come for on his sabbatical before what? So all these circumstantial evidence, put her in the frame of mind that there is something the security people are hiding, and they are only taking the people I want to refer to as pawns in a chess game. These people they are arresting, these people are pawns, the actual people. Because what I'm quoting Gregory Coleman, Gregory himself said it, a senior government official in the drugs business. So what I think you're doing, I want to consider that as harassment. That is a harassment. You cannot harass the senator. The senator has his constitutional responsibility to speak. And as part of his oversight responsibility, the senator owes you no explanation to come help you in your investigation. In fact, you have the capacity more than the senator. You have all the tools, all the logistics to investigate. You can go to Lone Star Cell and Orange and subpoena court law. You have the capacity. You can go to the court and issue writ of arrest and issue search warrant. So you have everything within the legal bailiwick at your disposal to investigate. So you can be harassing a senator simply because the man is critical. You're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself. If you got serious issue to do as Gregory Coleman, you serious about this investigation, you're not be wasting your energy. Because Amara Coleman has as well to speak. You can level charge against them, you can level charge because you yourself, Gregory Coleman, is a testimony. You said it with your mouth, you are on record. It is in the public. Senior government official in your own word are involved with the whole drugs business. And you knew from where from which point you spoke, from which direction you spoke. You got information. You are a member. You are a strategic. You hold a strategic position rather in the joint security. So you did not speak. You did not speak out of ignorance. You were sending a code. It was a coded message that you were sending. And people come for you to say, "Oh, you should recuse yourself. You should resign because you got a senior police officer involved in the drugs. Okay, you will spare the bill, you will name senior government official. That was a singer. But we do not care about how you're single, but we are saying for the fact that you yourself, you are on record of telling the Liberian people that senior government officials are involved with the drugs trafficking. You lack the moral standing. You lack the moral standing to invite anybody to provide evidence. Because you are responsible, you are accountable to the Liberian people. The office you occupy is being what? Funded by Liberian tax dollars. So if you feel you are not responsible to the Liberian people, you are not accountable to the Liberian people to provide accurate information, you want to hold a senator responsible who is by a larger extent exercising your oversight responsibility. You need to do better than that, very common. Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about and just to provide clarity is that I've seen people running on Facebook, you know, trying to gauge in, and that's a situation. Propaganda has taken over the country. Yeah, everything they want to put propaganda is that saying, oh, the chair that was donated for the University of Liberia is substandard chair, how my partner can go buy the kind of chair, all the money there. So the clarity is that the chair you saw that was displayed by the president of the University of Liberia was not purchased by the University of Liberia. It was a gift. You are aware that the president launched a campaign that, oh, let's ensure that we provide seating capacity for what? For the University of Liberia. That's a campaign she launched. So the Voice of Elder of Liberia, there's a group comprised of, you know, elderly people. And I need to be very fair, but majority of them support the government. The lack of Reverend Augusta Akwe, who is the executive director for the Better Future Foundation. He's an avowed Unity Party person. He's somebody I know. Former Minister Ololigi Ben Akareni, she's part of that group. Mother Laurie and Mary Lauren Brown, she's part of that group. They all have affiliation with the Unity Party. So that's why you saw they even painted the chair green. So the clarity here is that no, that chair was not purchased by the administration of the University of Liberia. Rather, it was purchased by, it was gifted to the University of Liberia by the Voice of Elder of Liberia. They donated that chair. And one of the members of that organization, is Reverend Augusta Akwe. He is the executive director for the Better Future Foundation. I thought to show you all that because I see people batching the president, you know, they want to, oh, we're going to chip in the government, and also no. And it is a gift. You cannot determine what somebody can give you. Gift is a free will. So if the Voice of Elder of Liberia decided to say, oh, based upon our financial strength and what we can reach financially, we provide a wooden chair and we paint it with green to identify with the government, whether it's that business, but you cannot tie it to the University of Liberia. Say, oh, Dr. Mapaya went and bought substandard chairs. So I thought to throw that out. So let's go to something very interesting here. So the government of Liberia has announced that it has agreed to accept up to 1,200 third country deportees from the United States over 12-month period. That's the government. So let me just give you a backdrop. This third party deportee, it is a policy. It is one of the policies Donald Trump instituted. Even though the policy is enshrined in the American immigration law, Donald Trump has expanded it. He made, you know, more tougher, more rigorous, you know, to crack down on in illegal immigrant. So basically what we need to know about this step, because I want to believe, before I go to what I believe our government is not telling us, I want to give you a backdrop. I want to give you, you know, insight of what the third party deportation means, or it is either referred to as other third party deportation or third party removal. Let me just give you a backdrop. So basically, the third party deportation policy as our government announced today, they have agreed to host or welcome 1,200. Now, the 1,200, you want to refer to them as deportee. They are not necessarily Liberians. They are not Liberians. They are from, even though some are Africans, some are Asians, but they are not necessarily Liberian national. These are people, illegal immigrants in America, who the American government, through the immigration system, want to take them from the country, but due to some, legal constraint or legal binding or legal implication, they cannot be, deported to their home country, so forth. So, because the American government, Donald Trump, making America great again, enforcing the third-party deportation scheme that is enshrined in the American immigration law. He sought all kind of ways to ensure that if the law says the immigration law has a constraint to say, oh, when the person on a certain condition, there is certain condition on which they cannot be returned to their country, we must have a means that we can return it to a third-party country, another country that is not a country of origin. So that is why, and Liberia is not the only person. The only thing what makes Liberia different is that this number, since the whole third-party deportation scheme, instituted by the Donald Trump, by the Trump administration, Liberia is the first country that has agreed to receive 1,200 persons. 1,200 persons. And these people will come in over the course of 12 months. The first batch of 20 persons are expected to come Thursday, from what we got. So what is exactly the third-party deportation? Ordinarily, when the United States remove a person who has no legal right to remain, the person is sent to his or her country of citizenship or another country designated in the removal process. So a third-party removal is basically maybe different. But the United States remove a person to a country that is not the person's home country. For example, a Liberian national who ordinarily will be returned to Liberia. Good for you. I'm not saying there might not be Liberians among the 1,200, but the generality of those people they're sending back, they are not Liberian. It is not a deportation scheme. I say, oh, everybody that coming are Liberians. But apparently, you have, ordinarily Liberian might be among them, but you have Mexican national. It could be on the third-party country agreement. The U.S. could send a person from another country, anywhere, say from Cuba, Nigeria, Vietnam, Venezuela, any other country that the person is from, but in America illegally, on the third-party arrangement policy, the American government can negotiate with a government that consent to that arrangement for those persons or individuals to be brought in the country. And there are many things. Some are come temporarily, they will be here a while, and maybe they go back in their home country. Some might be here to maybe seek asylum. So it is a broad thing. But I believe in my mind, before I set the basis, I believe in my mind there is something our government is not telling us. Because today, the information minister was not very detailed. If you bring in 1,200 persons that are not primarily Liberian citizens, first of all, because the government has already agreed, there is nothing in negotiation. What is happening now is what? The batches of the returning, the people that will be coming. Thursday, the first 20 coming. And it is over a 12-month period, 1 year period. So we will expect our government to be telling us what are the nationalities of these people, their age ranges, their sex, how many male, how many female, who are those who have expressed interest to integrate in our Liberian society in terms of seeking asylum. What is in it for the government of Liberia? Because this is not a free thing. There's not a thing that say, oh, we have Liberians, 1,200 Liberians that is in prison facility in the United States of America. They committed various crimes, maybe theft, burglary, sexual assault, bank fraud, whatever crime they committed, and they are qualified for deportation. And the American government is sending 1,200 of our citizens removing them from our country back to our country. In that one, there can be no compensation, there can be no what in term we will benefit. Because mind you, that all other things is associated with the return of these people. We might increase, we might experience the increase in crime rate. And there's so a lot of things. So our government needs to tell us. A lot of things our government is not telling us. A lot of things our government is not telling us. The government needs to come clean and tell us, oh yeah, we are standing to what the country standing to benefit it. Sarah question. So when the 1,200 people come, before they think about reintegrating, on whose shoulder that responsibility will rest? And if our Liberian government is telling us, oh, there was no compensation, there has been no package for us to accommodate these people, where will our government take this? Because these people, they are, in other sense, they are deported. The only difference is that they are not being deported to their country of origin. They come into a third-party country, so they are deported. They are not going to bring a bank accounts with them if they have bank accounts. They are not going to take their horses and come. No. These are people who are in America illegally. Some even commit a crime. Some even in prison facility. They will take them from jail and bring them here. So if you bring in a huge amount of people in our country, 1,200, what is in it for us as a country to benefit? And that is not supposed to be a secret. It's not going to be a secret. That is what we call transparency and accountability. The government must be accountable to the people. The government dealing must be transparent. Because in the midst of not being transparent, then you get roused to what? Speculation. When you are not coming forth with information, when you're not updating the Liberian people, providing real-time information, accurate information, then you give rooms, you leave the opportunity for people to speculate, for people to say this, people to say that, for people to even say things that are far from the reality. Because what? You are late. You stonewall yourself. You barricade yourself. You don't want to release the information. So what is it we are doing? Because the arrangement covers all the 1,002 people. The arrangement is for approximately 12 months. The first group of 20 people is expected what? Thursday, according to Information Minister Jeremy Pierre. The people are not necessarily Liberian national. They can include people from Africa, other parts of Africa. The Liberian government, the Liberian government says the arrangement is based on what? Humanitarian consideration. That is what caught my attention. So to what level, to what extent you extending this humanitarian gesture to the American government? What level? What is the arrangement? I want to believe there is an arrangement. Yes, the one thing that thought, oh, we just thought it. No, there is an arrangement because you want to hide under the canopy. The government want to hide itself under the canopy. Oh, it is a humanitarian arrangement, other humanitarian consideration. Oh, that one, you know, humanitarian consideration. You do other humanity now. You human being. You believe that the person to need help, and you are in the position to help them. So you get helping them, and you don't want anything in return. You know. Because anything you do out of humanity, you cannot be paid for it. Yeah. But that is not the fact. So if you're doing it for other humanitarian consideration, who will take care of these people until they integrate? Even the ones who are coming, because there's just a third party, even the ones who are coming, because there's many who will come and they say, oh, they cannot live in Liberia culture, they cannot adapt to the culture. They might want to go back. Another country, apparently they want to go to Ghana, they want to go to Nigeria, they want to go to Senegal, they want to go to other African countries because, mind you, they are just being removed from what? America. So who take care of these people? How will these people be taken care of? Who will provide the lodging? Even let's look at the fact we have said the reason why in our country and when we get job, we don't even have job. People suffering for jobs. The inavailability of job is very scarce. Then you bring 1,200 persons back to the country and you say it is humanitarian consideration. but you are not providing information to the Liberian people. Say, oh, this deed is, the government is scanty. The government is not revealing it is wrong. The government is accountable to the people because it is by the word of the people that the government got elected. The power of the government is inherent in the people and is captured in Article 1 of our 1986 Constitution. So we don't have to beg the government to tell us what is in the deed. The government must be forthcoming. The government must tell. The government must tell us detail. The 1,200 person coming. We got 600 male, 600 female. We got 20 children, or we got 300 children. We got this nationality. We got 700 person from Asia or whatever. We get the amount of person from the other country. These are the age range because the Americans have those information. The Americans have the data, the bio data of every individual, the 1,200 person. So if you agree to that agreement, these are critical documents. You should request from the American government and know you got that document. But you don't want to share that document to the Liberian people. You want to still keep that document under the classified, nomenclature is classified. It's not yet declassified. And we need to know, because when you bring in 1,200 non-Liberians in our country from a violent-prone, a crime-prone country like the United States of America, we are concerned about our safety. Yes. How will the government take care of them? Who will be responsible for them? The money the government will use to take care of them. What will be the source of the money? What is the data of everybody coming? You owe the Liberian people that explanation. There is no way around it. You owe the Liberian people that explanation. You must be forthcoming. It is a responsibility to speak to the Liberian people on these critical issues because this is a critical issue. We already in Liberia, we're fighting the crime rate is very high. We have a security sector that does not even have the capacity to combat the current rate of crime we are experiencing in the security sector. Right under our nose, people dealing drugs all around. They infiltrated the security sector. DEA people there doing well for drugs, cartel people, so forth. You bring in 1,200 people back to our country. We don't know them. We can't vouch for them. You are not telling us anything. Who will take care of them? The 2020 they come in, how you will manage them? Because the first batch will arrive Thursday, 20%. Do you have the fund to take care of 1,200 persons? Even those who will be willing to seek asylum when they seek asylum, because this place of screen staring, I want to believe that many of the people that come in, if not all of them, or almost all of them, Liberia will be a screen staring. Liberia is a screen staring for them. They will be what? Novice to our culture. They don't know our way of life. They will take time to integrate. Who will be taking care of them at that time? That is the question we need to ask. And the government needs to answer us. This is a legitimate question. The government needs to be forthcoming. If you agree with the United States government to bring 1,200 illegal immigrants from America, some have been involved in crime, terrible crimes, you bring it by our court. You think 1,200 is a small number? 1,200 is a small number. That's a huge number. What plan you got to integrate those who want to be integrated? Even when you say the seeking, how well have we investigated these people? So the boy that want to take America, they just taking Liberia as a dump site. And the people in America, they use all the old things in the gas account when they're looking for dumper. So even go on the garbage site in America and take things from actual garbage sites. The package continue to send it. So the government have opened that corridor Y'all want to use our country as a dump site for hardcore criminals who the American people can't condone no longer. The time with someone will even be coming from jail. They're coming with nothing, no tangible. They are coming to immediately contribute. They are not investors. They are not coming on infrastructure for future investment. These people, both of them are criminals. Many of them are criminals, hardcore criminals. So under what arrangement is the government of Liberia accepting these people? What information the government of Liberia in terms of the power data? What information, what level of information the government gets? The government needs to make that information public. It's not, Liberia is not somebody's personal adventure, personal fund, personal enterprise. Liberia is a country. Every single Liberia has a right, has entitlement to the 43 square miles of this country. That's why we cannot be deported from this country because it's our country. So when the government taking decision of such, the government got to explain to us. The government owes us that responsibility. They need to what? Explain to us. Tell the Liberian people, this is this, this is this, this is that, this is this, so forth. Let the Liberian people know. That is what I call democracy. The democracy must be accountable. It must be transparent, and it should be inclusive. That is a part of democracy. So in democracy, we elected you. We put you there. You got there by the will of the people. So you are answerable to the people. It is not a choice. It is not whether you like it or not. It is mandatory. Because the power is inherent in the people. These are the kind of things you can do hastily. Just let Roger do it then. When the ramification comes down, we can't stand the ramification. You are accepting 1,200 persons to come from America or come from our country. There is no information. You come with your plan. You can't release the people in the general population. The crime rate will start getting high. All kinds of things will start happening. And then you say, oh, the government needs to speak to us. We need an explanation. What the information ministry said today was not insufficient. It's not enough. It was not sufficient. So I thought to say that. The government owe other explanation. Yeah. So let's go to another issue another serious matter I have for us to discuss. You see, Liberia is a very small country. 43,000 square miles, 5.23 million people, 16 ethnic groups. We are intertwined. The crew know the Gio know the crew know the Mano know the Gio. We are intertwined. Small country, 5 million population. The population of Accra, Ghana, is 2 times Liberia whole population. To tell you, the capital city of Ghana, the people that live in the capital city of Ghana, is more than the people in our 15 counties. So it tells you we are very small. Somebody know the person. Some kind of way we are intertwined. And we have a dark history. And our history is what Barack Obama referred to as a crucible or a success and challenge. We have our dark past. Liberia is a historical country where the settlers settled. The first African country that produced a female president. The first African country that produced world best, European best, African best at the same time. The first African country where the OAU Declaration was signed. In San Quentin, we have a rich history. But we also have a dark past. And some of the reason we have that dark past in our history is because this marginalization in our country, this mindset, their entitlement certain group of people feel they are entitled, they have that right to political leadership. They should be in leadership position, and the rest of the people should be subservient to them. The mindset that some super group of people, they are superhuman beings, and the other people, they are second-class human beings. Marginalization, all these small pieces of evidence, violating the rule of law, corruption, nepotism, cronyism, all these small things from 1979, they accumulated. In December 1990, 1990, we experienced a brutal serious crisis that decimated 250,000 of our fellow compatriots, Liberians, until today, 23 years after, because today, August 18, we celebrate 23 years after we signed the Accra Peace Agreement. That was signed on August 18, 2003. That agreement that brought a cessation to our war, that took Charles Taylor from here. But still, after 23 years, we got children who are born in the 1990, or let's say, even after the 1990, 1993, they are what? 20, 21 years old. They know nothing about the war. They only read, they only hear people saying it. They did not experience the war. So there is no way for those of us who saw the war, even though we are at a tender age, who ate pan cabbage, who ate Baba John, who saw dead bodies, we saw dogs eating dead bodies, we saw people shooting people indiscriminately, we saw people raping people, all kinds of things. We still have that in our mind. In our mind, there are children now who do not have any remembrance about that. And that is that is why we need to ensure that we do not go back. And there should be a collective decision. There should not be a decision of the government, or let respect the rule of law. Do not marginalize other people. Let ensure that there is an equitable distribution of the national resources. Opposition, civil society, the religious community, they also have a responsibility to ensure that we make this place peaceful, that we live here in harmony, that we coexist irrespective of your political affiliation, irrespective of your religious affiliation, your tribal connection. We must coexist. We must be tolerant of each other. We must respect each other for their values, for what they stand for, so that we cannot go back to the dark days. And I say this to lay the premise and lay the basis against what Madam Grace Pan for uttering against the former president. Madam Grace Pan is a very respectable woman. She comes from the trade labor organization. She has that burning passion, to see good things for Liberia. She has a very impressive record as president of the Dog Worker Union. In some point in time, she was the interim managing director at the National Food Authority. And more besides, I want to refer to her as a clergyman, as a clergywoman rather, because her husband, Bishop S. Oliver Pan, who is the general overseer of the Left Tabernacle Church, a man of God, is her husband. I have listened to her many times ministering, preaching the word of God. Aside from that, I know she have her own scandal. 2013, there are a whole lot of scandal where you the ERE, you ERE, and she and Edward Ford, you ERE allegation. I've ever seen 2013, she was being investigated by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission for allegedly misappropriating and so county development funds, social development funds so far. But aside that, she is a respectable woman. And as a respectable woman, she represents the political class. She represents the religious class because she is a Catholic woman. Her husband is a bishop. She is a religious woman. I visited our church on numerous occasions. I even went to that center in Louisiana. Probably I was a member of that church. So I know her to that extent. She worked as superintendent. She contested senatorial election before. Just the 2023 election, she contested as a vice running mate to Dr. Harry F. Monua on the Liberal National Union. So when you're speaking, nobody say you can be critical. We are time we can be critical. You got to critique and be critical. But you got to be careful with your choice of words when you're referencing other permanent Liberians. To have referred to the former president of the Republic of Liberia, African best, world best, Europe best, but Liberia mess, that was very uncalled for. I condemn it in the strongest of terms. That was way below the belt. Way below the belt. You can refer to somebody like George Weah as a mess. Say politically he did not do well, and that's why the Liberian people were voting him out. Even though it is questionable why the Liberian people really went in, because the election was very close. The Unity Party had alliance, the ruling party too also had alliance. What separated them close to 20,000 votes or a little over 20,000 votes, less than 1% margin. That was a election that was won on a slim chance. So you can be referring to the former, even if you don't respect George Weah as president, Madam Great, but respect him for the fact that he once occupied the highest office of the land. You refer to George Weah as mess, that was derogatory, that was unbecoming of you who call yourself a clergy lady. Put politics aside. These are the kind of things that can bring hate. George Weah is a man who has, since 2025, he has always commanded 27-28% of the voters. He has always succeeded to make his way in the second round. He has always gone for runoff. Even when he stepped away from the ticket in 2011 and Winston Thomas took the mantle, he was still qualified for a runoff election. That tells you that all his political deficiency, all his lapses, he's not eloquent, he's not articulated, he do not have a clarity of thought. There are a group of Liberians, a good portion of Liberians that believe in, they idolize him, they see him as their savior, they see him as their political. So when you disrespect him in that kind of form and manner, what you're doing, you are disrespecting the office of the presidency, the sanctity, because the presidency is a seat. It's not a human being. When you occupy, when the Liberian people vote you and you sit in that seat, you are covered by the prestige of that seat. So even if you do not respect the person as a human being, as George Weah, for the fact that he once occupied the seat of the presidency, the highest seat in the land, you are bound to render him some level of respect. And you can disagree with him, but you cannot refer to him as a mess. That was unbecoming, that was wrong, that was totally out of order, and that is condemnable. You can't do that. The man said that some of y'all, and the thing about Liberia, our country, not many Liberians can read and write. So the men who can read and write in the kind of politics here, the men who can read and write, the latter who is not articulated, he go to school, he get a master's degree, he was not in your elite circle. In this kind of country, Liberia, 5.20 million people, where majority of the people living in abject poverty, majority of the people are in slum community. Somebody like George Weah, who you say, politically, nobody, articulated. This is the kind of man that people can gravitate to. That's why you see, since 2005, George Weah have become relevant. When he was president, he did not do well. We ourselves, we criticize him. CDC people zealous that they haven't we said. The Jefferson coaching, the rest of them, they couldn't see us because we were very critical, because we were doing it not basically because we're against George Weah. We are doing it basically because the sanity of the country, because Liberia is our common denominator. So we critique it, we criticize it. So when the thing is there, we condemn them. We were on their back. It did not come from the place of hate. It came from the place of love for country. It came from what? The environment of what? Radical progressivism. So you can disagree with people politically, but to have referred to the former president as a mess, Liberia mess, you are wrong. If it is left between you and George Weah, with all your boy you know, everything you know, fairly speaking, if it is left with you and George Weah to say, oh, that two parties still will run here, Grace Man got a party, George Weah got a party, then George Weah will become what? President for life. That is a fact. That is an uncomfortable fact. Because what? George Weah resonates with the ordinary people. He has his base. His base is not the Indo-Leather class. I've never voted for George Weah. And George Weah's base is the majority. How many people educated? Eh? Go look at the India. Recent India or research, I don't want to guess. But the last time I checked, close to 65% of what people can read. The inner percentage, George Weah has his base. You, the educated woman, you know all the boat, you clutch a woman. You're not in our base. You contested senatorial election and you lost. You contested as vice president on vice running mate to Harry Monuba. You lost. So they hate. The man said that certain people, that was very disgusting on your part. You have your rap sheet. I won't go in your rap sheet. I won't go in your rap sheet. No. I want to conscientize you. When people respect you, when you are elevated or you are excelled to certain position in society, it behooves you to conduct yourself in certain way, in certain manner. You got baby children and more children. You are a permanent person. You are a stakeholder. Bourgeois Island, you are a stakeholder in a country. How will you feel, or how will your children feel? How will your husband feel when somebody refers to you as a mess? How did you feel when you're in a scandal? You you and Edward Foal were in a scandal. When people from other political divide were saying all kinds of things. How did your relative, how did your wife, your husband, rather, as other man, how did he feel? You take a platform, you go to a pro-government media institution and say they're going around, say, oh, they're taking view. So you want their view that they're taking. They will never go to anybody that they know fairly well as supposed to the opposition. They will go to what? People who, these are propagandists. They will go to people who have very extreme view. And that do it for everybody. They continue for one person. You call George Weah next? When George Weah was lifting Liberian flag on the international scene, during the heat of our war, when we were 14 years killing, people were dying. George Weah was the only figure that was representing the country on the war stage. That was George Weah. And that kind of man you refer to that to Liberia, the man who ushered the war. The people adore him, they worship him. When they see him, they prostrate before him. In your own country, because of political, and she's not again, the kind of hate, the political hate, and you refer to the man as a mess. And then we see other people in the government, they're supporting it. Madam Greatman spoke a man. She spoke a man. She did not miss a word. She spoke a man. But you yourself, your rap sheet long. Your rap sheet long. You are accused of corruption. A Muslim County superintendent. You have your hands in a cookie jar around some $400,000. Because you know, I got a construction company now, Chevron, they were getting county development fund, social development fund, and at your office as superintendent, you are handling that fund. More than $400,000 scammer. You get a side of that story. Error 4 get a side of that story. But the story is not complete. The LSCC even has to invite you. You are under investigation. The legislature, the 50th legislature found you liable. They handed down a vote of no confidence in you. They send you to the Marural Central Prison. 10 for the arrogance of Mary Bro. She went there, she had job got adding our woman, the second prime minister of Royal City. She went there, she assaulted court officers, court sheriff, and she rescued you away from them. That will help you to not go to jail. You have always been a controversy. It's not good for you. You can be bearing the knee as a clergy woman, and then you get yourself all the kind of political shenanigans, one bad favor. And I hear you saying that different. But you can be objective. The politics can just be clear. I hear you saying in an interview that 6 years ago, the whole country was down. Nothing was in the country. 3 years, Joseph Braga came out voting. So you were not here 12 years, and then United Party were in power. Let's be realistic now. That bring honestness to the discourse. That forget about propaganda. That bring honestness to the discourse. If you say the last 6 years, nothing happened in Liberia, the whole country was a mess. It was down. The Braga took over, and on 3 years before Liberia coming back to itself, then what will you say in 12 years? Eh? So are you telling me on a 12-year United Party selling the government you supported, the government you work in, 12 years as President Joseph Human Braga as vice president, everything was cool. Eh? Liberia was heavy, everything was fine, but immediately George we took over on a 6 years, everything went back to square one, and then on a 3 year again, everything happening. How do people can be dishonest to the discourse? People like Grace Pan, you are some of the people who work in there, the people who are educated, they can eradicate education. People like you, your thought process, the way you can present yourself, the way you can make most of you, the attitude of most of you, it is why George Weah is a competitor in our political landscape here. George Weah should not be a competitor, nowhere. But your educated people, your so-called educated people, your behave, your think, your do things more than even the people who are not educated. You look at somebody like George Weah, put what political prestige one side, put a political dream, a man who is a global citizen, and you say to Liberia, he was a mess to Liberia, but to the other people, he was world best, he was African best, he was Europe best. Eh? These things are uncalled for. You can be, my disappointment in Grace Man is that you are a clergy woman, you are a religious woman. What part of the Bible teach you say or taught you to refer to a fellow human being as a mess? Name that scripture to me. Name that scripture to me. Reset that scripture and say the Bible gave you the authority as someone who say you are a clergy woman. Your husband is an ordained bishop. You have a church. You got people honor your work, your mentorship, your guardianship. You got young people looking up to you to provide spiritual guidance for them, to provide direction. And then you go on the public radio, in the public air, and refer to a permanent citizen, a man who 28% of the voting population see as the God, see as the idol. They do not recognize any flaw in him. They see him as someone who is flawless. Then you refer to him as a mess and say, even by extension, insulting the Liberian people, the people who voted for George Weah, you insulting them by saying any sound person can vote for people that George Weah. Well, you will sound now. You will know all the bonus. How many times have you contested election and the Liberian people have rejected you? These are the mindset. These are the only some of the basis the Liberian people can reject you. Because when you want to exalt yourself over other people, simply because you get a master's degree, you get a bachelor's degree, you went to the best schools, people can get best with you. You know, boy, I will vote for you. People like you are by the same reason why both said, you came a man, you came a back, I will vote for you. And the data in favor of John, you know, both, I will vote for you. I do not support that. Because I do not believe that somebody who don't know both will be president like that. But George Weah is not in the category of people you can refer to that do not know both. He's not in that category. He's not in that category. Just stop the hate. Just stop the self-entitlement. to feel that your certain group of people, you are the ones to the whole, you are the one qualified. And when you look in your closet, your closet dark. The skeleton in your closet is disgusting. Just speak about it. The skeleton in your very closet. Don't heal yourself. God said, woman of God. God said, a Christian. Then you refer to a permanent man, a permanent son of the country. If today, if we go to election 2029 and Bwaga wins the election, Bwaga will get Joseph, Bwaga will get George, we have invitation. I doubt that will even give you invitation to go attend our inauguration. I doubt, man, grace man. We must speak truth to power. When we see these things, then we must speak against these things. These are the very passes, these negative passes that led up to this senseless war. That 250,000 Liberians died senselessly. And even today, we are still reeling from the negative effect of the war. We have children today on drugs. They were drugs. When we were placing our hands, they are traumatized. 23 years after, many of them are traumatized. We have people living today. Their entire household were massacred. They alone living, they still struggling with that trauma, living daily with that trauma. That was some of the reasons. Somebody can action them. Few group of people feel you got to go to school, they learn how to read and write. It means that they don't want to have their authority. They don't want to rule the country for similar thing like Miata formula day. This is wrong. And you cannot rule out the possibility. If you ask me a question, what job you have to come out to be Papa, I will tell you no. No. George Weah has lived his life. He has achieved everything he wanted to achieve in his terrain as an athlete, as a soccer ball. He won the Zenith to be the world best player, winning the Ballon d'Or, Africa best player, Europe best player. Even though he did not play in a World Cup, but his son is completing that history. He did not play in the World Cup. He was not opportune to play in the World Cup, but today his son is playing our. So that history by a feeling, that history is complete. I told World Best as a father, Europe best, African best. My son, I did not play in the World Cup. My son is playing the World Cup. Any father will be proud of that. Then you refer to him as a mess. Because you like him politically. You angry why he became president. You angry why he had to become senator. Then you refer to him as a mess. That was wrong. And you Christian. At the time about it, about beating me. So what example you're showing the young generation now? You woman of God. Every Sunday you can stay on the pulpit, you can go. I know your schedule, you can go. Monday you can have prayer service. Wednesday you can have Bible study. Friday you can go there. Every Saturday you used to go to Louisiana on your prayer place. You go do fast and pray everything. Sunday you will preach in the church. I want the Bible telling you to look down on your fellow human being because of political differences. To look down on your fellow human being, you refer to a man like George Weah. Take the political title for him, take the presidency for him. Because I believe he did not do well when he was president. Yeah, I can say that by a fact. But there are many people in numbers, in thousands, that believe he did well. There are many Liberians who see themselves in him. Many Liberians who see themselves in him. They see him as an embodiment of their struggle, an embodiment of the day-to-day struggle they live in slum communities. They can't go to school. They're not even having a single meal to eat a day. They sleep in dilapidated structures. They got bulk majority of our people who see themselves in Georgia. They can look at Georgia and say, I can hope a man who was read and who grew up in Gibraltar with his grandmother, no father history. Man was not around more time, but yet instead, he stood against all those challenges. Played football, he left from here and went and conquered the war. When he was making names in the war, people were here killing. They see action and why you're doing, you're the politician and you're fermenting and division among all. You're inciting people, tension everywhere. Everybody causing up on the side, everybody causing, nobody get ready to talk about in power. You're doing organic. That same thing in your day before the war and left the war. When you were fighting the senseless war, you're killing each other. George Weah was that single Liberian that had it on the map. Now even your ambassador, someone that left America, or 11 other foreign countries. George Weah was that single light, came back, raised everything, came back, lay an effort to disarm people. He was there. Where were you, Graceman? You look at that kind of man because you got political differences, and you refer to him that he's a mess, and you call yourself Christian. You can stand on the pulpit and be preaching. What example are you showing to people at that altar? What example? And you have scandals. Scandals. Your rap sheet is as long as, I don't know, the rap sheet long. You are being accused of what? Using the court system, using your connection in the court system, and demolishing people's homes, dislodging people. You're being accused of what? Stealing county development money. You and Edward Ford, it won't record, you ERE. The LSC even call you for investigation. You are on record going to pressing the legislature, and you in contempt for the same very attitude. The way you look down people, talk to people, you see, you tell yourself, highly. The legislature was sending you to prison. A miracle gotta go save you. Rescue from court officer. So you have a lot, you are not, I can clearly say, when we look at the Rashi, it's hard to say, but that's a reality. You are not a good example of a clergy woman. You are not a good example of a clergy woman. You are not a good example. By the way you look at other people, you speak with other people, you denigrate people, you speak to people in a demeaning and derogatory manner. That is not an example of Christianity. No, that's not Christianity is humility. Yes. You can call yourself mother, you clergy woman, then you referring to somebody in mess. Even if they're not George Weah, forget about your prestige. Why do you call yourself a woman of God? Then you be referring to somebody as mess. You know the definition of mess? You know what is a mess? Something that is in no use. Something that have no use. How can you say George Weah has no use to Liberia? Why? Even now, policy George Weah instituted as all the mess, even though the mess in the middle of the country, their policy he instituted, people are still benefiting from that policy. People still going to 14 military hospital. Liberians are benefiting. That was under George Weah. You go to the Emerald Hospital, people are benefiting from the Emerald Hospital. That was George Weah. You are a regular traveler. When you go to the Rabat International Airport, there is a new terminal there. That is George Weah. You look around Feeder Road, you go to Door Community, you go to Chuba, where I born and grew up, George State Road, you go there, there's an asphalt pavement there. That is George Weah. Free tuition at University of Liberia, that is George Weah. Then you refer to the man as mess because you and the man are politically online, or because you support Joseph Human Breaker, and you think by insulting and making loud noise and paying for a stage interview, they will call you and give you a job. In West Syria country, people say the Christian, Syria men of God, Syria somebody say the God, they're working for God, they won't be engaging in politics, running for elected offices, fighting the way in government, won't be on board. It's my understanding that you are on the MPA board, so you feel when you're insulting other prominent people, opposition leader, then your salary will be sure to come. When you go to board meeting, your board fee will come. That is disgusting. It's wrong today, it is wrong tomorrow. And in anybody's case, I will criticize you, I will name, I will shame you with all fear and with all favor. Because these are the statements, these are the comments that you can start making that can ignite tension, division. George Weah has a follower. He has a huge following, very huge following that you do not have. And they say, if the presidential, the Liberian presidential was that between you and George Weah, George Weah will be president for life. Then Liberia will be a monarch George Weah will be president for life. We'll have a monarchy here. If it is that between you and George Weah, great span between you and George Weah, with all inadequacy, he's not articulated. He don't have clarity or thought. He's not smart. He can't speak. You call 11 years now. He's a great man. And George Weah, then George Weah will come on again. And for some, we don't want George Weah to come out to be president. He will be forced to come out because we'll be paying against you. You don't have political base. You have rap sheet. You are being series of controversies, that does not even represent somebody who call us a woman of God, a clergy person. You should be far above reproach. Your life should be a shining example. People must see your life as a shining example. But every time you're in controversy, you're talking down on people, insulting people, using all kind of adjectives on people, causing them a mess. Why you want to cause them a mess? Joy, we allow that mess for you. But insulting you, judgment, according to judgment mess, you have insulted a huge portion of our population, Liberian people. So if you take George Weah from there, people that believe in George Weah followers, you have insulted them. You have insulted them, and you made it unrealistic analogy to about 12 years. Said everything was, it says that everything in that world was down. Can you prove that? Can you prove that? That says that everything went down, nothing happened, and in 3 years before things happening? That is not true. That is propaganda. That is not true. You're wrong, madam. You are very wrong. You step out of order. You step beyond your boundary. You step beyond your boundary. To have called George Weah as a mess to Liberia, you are wrong. It even violated your Christian doctrine and your Christian principles. When that lead a political thing, because some of you are working for your salary now. Because now what happening in the country now? Everybody got to be cursing everybody. The insult that flowing, people cursing here. They cursing American here because he's asking questions, tough questions. They cursing up. Anybody open their mouth, you're cursing. You have made insult as the culture of the day. Because everybody want to protect the late George. Everybody want to protect, everybody want for the people that they get in government and know, then the president will know to how you going to show your loyalty. You don't have to show your loyalty to a political party by insulting another prominent person. No. If they can use you today to be insulting people, they can trust you tomorrow. Because when the time came, you will insult them too. Exactly, you will insult them too. That's the hypocrisy about our politics. Today, the thing they see today, our wrong, they create a sign, they protest, they wear t-shirts, they organize it. Today, happening, it's not wrong because they're benefiting from it. They are direct beneficiary of the ills. So they don't talk about it. But yesterday, they were robust, they were very vocal, critical, and which, of course, is the right. Every citizen has a right to be critical of his government. That's the right. Because the government is elected to live to the wish and aspiration of its people. If the government is falling short on a responsibility, every citizen, regardless of your status, whether you can get political party or you political leader or you actively, but it is your constitutional right to express your grievances. Everybody has the right. But when you do it in one government and another government that you associate that with comes to power and you show blind eye to it, that is the hypocrisy. That is the hypocrisy. And that is why we will point out. Without fear, without favor. I'm not George Weah man. I'm not George Weah man. I mean, George Weah not going to be, probably George Weah not going to be president here. And the first thing. But people like you, great man, people like you pave the way for George Weah to be president. Because when you overlook somebody, you look down upon it, there will be people who will be bent on say, oh, we made a man president. And you saw the slogan that brought George Weah to the presidency. You know, boy, I will vote for you. That was not a good slogan. That did not depict our country in a negative light. Similarly, you came, my man, came, my pa. But it was people like you, your legs of the other family, your legs, the Burma family, people who feed our political leadership. Who is to be for them? They wear, they gaswa, they didn't sort of come near power, political power. They should be subservient. They must be worshiping you. Because you don't want to go to the Harvard, you don't want to go to the UL, you get all the master, you get all the book. And that's one of the reasons why I made the people angry. They voted for George Weah against somebody that brother. And the action of people like Grace Pan made the Liberian people vote for George Weah against brother. 14 out of 15 counties went for him. That was wrong. That was totally out of order. That was wrong. Even your Christian belief, you should repent, madam, because you even sin against God. You're not supposed to look down on anybody. Look at the former president of the Republic of Liberia. Man who occupies, once occupied the highest seat, the very seat, you are craving for that, the second seat. You are craving for the vice presidency. And then Papa that one, he sat in the first seat. And you look at him and say he was messed with Liberia. It means that the people who voted George Weah, the 67 or 65%, 14 out of 15 counties that voted for George Weah in the 2017 election, those are the very people you are referring to as mess. These are the people you are referring to. And that is totally out of order. We'll call you to order. It is wrong. Just stop the divisive coming in. It's not good for our country. It is not good for our country. There is no surety. There is no assurance that we cannot slip back into what? Instability. And we cannot slip back into what? The same chaos that we experienced for 14 years. The only surety is that all those negative verses, that what you're permeating now, Grace Man, we do away with it. We coexist. We can have our disagreement, but we keep it in the confine, in the way of civility. You can disagree with anybody. You can disagree with them in a civil manner. You can have a disagreement. It is called for. Now, all people can say tea and tongue and make plan, wherever people are come from different orientation, different background, have different principles. They will all be a class. But that class will be in the confine of civility, respecting the person's dignity as a human being. Yes. So you slip. And the people who, and trust me, the people who praising you now, that's the hypocrisy of Alabama. The people who clapping by you, oh yeah, Grace Man is spoken man, woman at theater. I challenge you. If the 13 now, and you say anything on the contrary, they will go for you. They will not spare you. That's the politics. They will not spare you. They will not spare you. We need to detoxicate the politics. Politics is what? It's just about difference of idea. You let a country, but you believe that to move the country forward, you're taking different road. You head into the same agenda to move Liberia forward. I believe I want to take the different road. I'm taking different side, but all of us have the same goal. The objective is what? Is to make Liberia better. Difference, policy, difference, that politics. How is it supposed to be? The debate be centered around the issues. How we can ensure that we tackle infant mortality. How we can ensure that we be self-reliant in terms of food. How we can ensure that we equip our law enforcement institution. How we can ensure that we do away with corruption from our courts. How we can ensure that we provide quality and affordable education for our people. How we can ensure that people do not die from what? Curable diseases, malaria killing people, typhoid killing people. That's what we need to do. How we can ensure that we curb corruption, the menace of corruption, collectively, we fight against it. It got to be what? Citizens and leaders. It's not a one-way thing. Citizen and leader. That's why you have the citizen there to pressure you, to put your feet to the fire. That's the oxygen of democracy. That's the oxygen. That makes democracy strive. When you get citizens, civil society people, the fearless, highlighting the issue, pushing the government to do better. But the goal is wrong. We are not enemies. We let everybody let our brother sing with, but the way we want to do to save Liberia, everybody get different format. But what? We are arriving at the same place in the interest of Liberia. We can have disagreement. That's the time we want to have disagreement. The country is toxic. We're going to 3 years since after election. It is not allowing the people like Yahoo yourself from the Christian community, the religious community. 3 years. The former president and the president, They haven't even sat down to even have to speak right after inauguration. 3 years. The former president, who has a group of people, they are the biggest opposition party. He has never been present at any national event. And other people feel they satisfied with it. We're going to get them, we're going to empower them. 3 years. Religious people that you're great spanning. You the people that the Aquene, all the Labua Christian churches, you're taking political positioning, you're compromise your religious beliefs and things. That's what you're supposed to be doing to unite the country. The country is toxic. The country is divided in half. It's bad for our country. And at the end of the day, we're speaking to many things because we don't get a capacity. We got our children here, we got our family here. We are not green card holder. We are not permanent resident of the United States of America. We even get the money that say, oh, welcome here. Say, when I hear they say the world of good or anywhere, let person and print tickets to go sit down. We do not have it. We will sit down here and suffer. Many of y'all will fly out of this place. Many of y'all will fly out of the place. That will leave it. And out of the day, most of them, when the 1990 walking, when they saw the hint of the war, when charted in Nima County, they started leaving the country. Some started sending their children out of the country. And we, the ordinary masses, left here. We, our fathers, our mother, we left here. We saw the first-hand account, the terrible nature of the war. We felt that page because we are the ordinary people. So that is why when you're doing these things, that you're just feeling division for what? For the one political job in it. When government they pay you 2,000-3,000 now, you bourgeois. So you will do anything to maintain that job, or you do anything for the president to know your direction, or people around the president will say, oh yeah, that person advocating for you. We need to get that person. This is wrong. We need to detoxicate the politics. The politics is toxic. Everybody cussing, everybody doing all kind of things. They're not doing a professional way. They're going for those that perceive a political enemy, a political or opposing the government. They're doing all kinds of things. Nothing here is neutral. Everything is there for politics. Come look at somebody who occupy the highest seat of the office. You refer to them as mess. By extension, you're insulting us. You're insulting the entire country. You tell them that they are mess. The 60+% of people that voted for George Weah, the 14 counties or the 15 counties that voted for George Weah, those are the people you are calling mess. Those are the people you are calling mess. Those are the people you are offending. Those are the people your statement offended. And you call yourself clergy woman and your rap sheet here, your controversial rap sheet here. Who will read that one? Well, our interest not to go over people, but we must speak this hard truth. These are uncomfortable truth. If we don't say it as a nation, as a people, we will not grow. Yeah, I raise my case 07701318086272620. It is your turn to make an input on Focus Straight Talk on Focal Radio 105.3. You can follow us on www.focalfm.com. My name is Emmanuel Chidaga-Gaswa. I'm here on this Tuesday, August 18, 2026 edition of the program Focus Straight Talk. Let's take calls 0770131318086272620. Let's take calls 077013138262720. Those are the numbers to call, and you can make your input. You call, you lower our first caller here. Good evening. I'm doing great. Your name and where you call from? Oh, sorry. That's guy, you, Chief. That's guy, you. Make a point. No, yeah, no, and stop. You ain't setting for nobody here. When people make a kind of statement and we criticize and we condemn them, that's all we're gonna go. Thank you so kindly for your input. Let's take call 0770131. Mrs. Dakar, we got a caller here. Good evening, caller. Your name and where you join us from. Let's hear you. Let's hear you, Prince. She needs to. She needs to. I agree with you. She needs to retract. Yeah, thank you. 077013131. Let's take this caller here. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from. Let's hear you, Josepha. Hey, my man, no, stop. I don't want to cut you off. You cannot return. You can't return it, you know. Criticizing you can't be having issue with a woman or using a particular word and using the same word on her. No. And that is not what criticizing her for. Yeah, I agree with you. I have to basically appeal to him about run on an apology. Yeah, she needs to do that. Thank you. And other people doing it. And Fadiga did it. And everything Fadiga said against Georgia, he went and apologized. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chief. Let's take call 0770. Good evening. I'm doing great. Your name and where you join us from? Let's hear you, Winston. Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Let's take call 770. Caller is right here. Good evening. Good evening. Your name and where you call from, Chief? Let's hear you, Nelson. No, I would never refer to any statement in that manner. No human being for that matter. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree. I agree. You are not referring to me particularly. I'm not trying to say. No, that was wrong. That was totally all. I will not do such. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Let's take more calls. 770-1313-1-886-2726-20. Focus Straight Talk on Focal Radio 105.3. My name is Emmanuel Kaswa, and today is Tuesday, is the 18th day of August 2026. Good evening. I'm great. Your name and where you join me from? Let's hear you. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Thank you for your participation. Let's take more calls. 770-1313-1-886. Good evening. I'm doing great. Your name and where you joined from? Let's hear you now. Thank you. Yeah, she needs to. I agree with you. She needs to apologize. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Let's take more calls. 86-2726-20-770-131318. Good evening. Your name and where you join from? Let's hear you. Thank you so kindly. Let's take more calls on Focus Straight Talk, Focus Radio 105.3. Let's take this caller here. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. You are live. Yeah, this is Focus FM. This is Focus Straight Talk. I'm Emmanuel. Let's hear you. All right. Amen. Amen. Yo, line so. Yo. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Thank you so kindly for expressing. Yeah. 07701313180806. Let's take this caller here. Or we missed that caller. 07701313180806 272620. Forecast Straight Talk on Focal Radio 105.3 FM. My name is Emmanuel Chidaka Gaswa. I'm here bringing you this Tuesday edition. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from, Chief? Let's hear you, Otis. Thank you so kindly. I take calls 0770-131-318-086-272620. We have roughly 6 minutes to go. So we're going to squeeze in at most 4 calls and then we call it a day. And we'll resume Thursday at the same time. Tomorrow I won't be here. Tomorrow you will be here at this time. Tomorrow our boy will be here with the connection hours. So let's take 4 more calls and then we say goodbye. 0770-131-318, 086-272620. So yes, that's it. We need to keep the politics civil. We can disagree, we can critique, we can fiercely critique, but we should not be demeaning. We can refer to people who have held, serious political position as the highest office in the land, and you refer to him as a mess, and you want to paint a narrative like George Weah says here, there was corruption. Yeah, we know there was corruption, alleged corruption. People violated the rule of law. Same thing we see today. The removal of cabinet general, I believe, at that time, and I still believe that was illegal. It was not removed according to the law. George Weah did not have the political will to penalize people who are, violating the public trust. He was, to some extent, a lame dog president. I admit that. But you cannot refer to him as a mess. Because even in the midst of all the flaws, there were some good tangibles. Good evening. I'm great. Your name and where you joined from? Yeah. Yeah. Let's hear you, Emmanuel. Yeah, and I share that sentiment. She must apologize. Yeah, it is important. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. So let's squeeze one last more in. Let's squeeze one last one more. Let's squeeze one last one. 0770-131-312-8086-272620 for what I felt on 105.3. Your dial right here. Let's take this is last call. Good evening. Yes, good evening. The name where you join us from. That's how you, Prince. You are my last caller. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So as I was saying, we are one people. We can have our disagreement. We know you're a politician. We can have our disagreement, but let's keep the disagreement sincere. Let's keep the disagreement honest, and let's keep the disagreement civil. I can fiercely critique you. I critique your policy. I critique your action. Yeah, but I don't have to be demeaning and be, derogatory to you as in a form and manner. She referenced President Weah to call it, the Europe best, the Africa best, about the Liberia mess. That was very, very uncalled for. There should be no space in our ballot politics for such, such exchange. George Weah was not the best president. I believe he was not the best president because the key factor, the key indicators, that can make a democracy flourish, he defaulted on it. He was not prosecuting people who were violating the public trust. Government officials were engaged in corruption. He himself, he painted a very, funding picture to the government. When he took over in less than 3 months, he started constructing, private condominiums for himself. These were his lapses. But he still has some positivity there. Today, we have a headquarters of the Liberia Nation and the National Port Authority. A very place where Grace Pan won't work as dog worker union. Those are positive. You cannot ignore it. You cannot just try to aside. Go to FPRC, honor his wife. FPRC has a modern headquarters. You cannot try that. Let's look at the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority. That is his hand man. Let's look at the 14th Military Hospital. That's his hand man. Let's look at the hospital in the Emerald Hospital. That is him, man. Let's look at feeder roads across the country. That is just not positive. He did something positive. So you can't just say, oh, he says there was a miss. Says there, George, we have fought COVID-19. In the midst of the COVID-19, there was macroeconomic stability in this country. You got to give him that. Put your political thing aside. When the people that do wrong, we ain't got friends, we ain't got enemy. You do wrong, we'll criticize you. You do the right thing, we applaud you. That's what we do. Our focus here is to ensure that we make their place peaceful. We're going to go to a crucial election. We cannot afford to make the place toxic. People cursing, people doing that. We got to be careful. And the responsibility rests on the shoulder of people who call opinion leaders, prominent people like Grace Panning. She's an opinion leader. You work in the political city like Mosovalo as superintendent. Superintendent who say you are Mosovalo County president. Besides that, you work at the dog worker union. You are a trade unionist person. You get plenty of people around. You get people when you speak, they listen to you. They tend to follow you. So that is why you got to be very careful the kind of words you offer to people. So for me, I'm clear. I'm feeling with that. For statement, or attribution, or characterization of the former president, someone who once occupied the highest office in the land, that was very denigrating. It was disrespectful. It was out of order. And I call on her, like Hussein Fadiga did. Muster the courage. Everybody can hurt. Maybe she was overzealous in the interview, and then she spoke that kind of way. She's a human. She's infallible. She's not infallible, rather. She can make mistakes. So for me, she needs to set the record straight to apologize to the president, to the former president. Yes, you can't do that. So until I see you Thursday evening on the scene dial, Focal 105.3. My name is Emmanuel Jirega Gaswa. God's willing, I'll be back here Thursday and tomorrow. At this time, Harold Ball will be on the radio bringing you the commercial hour. Until I talk to you Thursday evening, goodbye.